Well, we're gonna. So, thank you for being here.
Okay.
And this is an interview with Alicia Denise Hall Jackson. And she has written another book, but this one is called No Longer Bound But Set Free. And boy, is there a huge testimony in this book because, I mean, after reading it, I read it in a day. I couldn't put it down because I connected so much to what you were going through. And I just, right now, just pray that even as we are talking and discussing your book, that somebody will be helped through your testimony. So tell us who you are and why are you getting this message out? So
My name's I'm trying to
yeah.
remember right now. Okay. My name is Alicia Hall Jackson,
Mhm.
and I'm a 20-year domestic violence survivor. Um, I have been going through domestic violence since 19, and even I got pregnant at 19 with my daughter, and I was even going through it to the point where he pushed me down, broke my arm while I was 4, 5, 6 months pregnant. But uh, I've been writing my first book since 15, 16. And that's because writing was always a tool for me. And I started writing that book just to express myself. And then I grew without my dad. That all kind of started from that. Grew up without him. I met him at the age of 11 or 12. One
Wow.
day only.
Mm.
And I hadn't seen him since.
Isn't that something though? There's so many stories out there that are similar because dad was not present. You know, I have an experience similar. My parents divorced when I was 5,
Wow.
but even at that, you know, there was such a disconnect
Yeah.
in the relationship. So tell us a little bit about your title of
Okay.
this book.
Okay, this No Longer Bound But Set Free is my second book, meaning I'm no longer bound to being in domestic violence, no longer bound to being severely depressed. Everybody get down about something, but I don't never want to get severely depressed where uh, I was so down and depressed where I would just eat, and I went up to a 5X. So over the period of time, since that first book, I then came down to a 2X, and then I'm more. My self-esteem was low, so I'm no longer bound to like not feeling good about myself because at first I didn't feel good about myself. People used to tell me, "You beautiful." I said, "Yeah, I look all right," but now I know I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was nobody but the grace of God that kept me in my right mind, even in the midst of going through it. And like I tell my children now, and they understand why I say this. I said I thank God for delivering me from fornication and adultery, because even the period of times when me and my first husband were together, I got involved with other things, because you already at your weak and vulnerable state, and that's how the devil prey on you.
Yeah, yeah, because you're feeling there's a void. And just like people drink alcohol or numb with drugs, and it's a void. Sex is a drug. It works the same way in the brain. Yes. So the theme of your story in No Longer Bound But Free is to never give up. That's what I took away from it. To never give up. And you are a walking testimony because I mean I know your story's not over. It's not over. And you've done so many wonderful things since going through what you've been through. And that is strength. That shows perseverance and that you're not giving up. Tell us a little bit about what you went through while writing this story.
Uh, far as
As far as, did you have anything to come up while you were writing, or was all of this over when you actually wrote this?
yeah, everything as far as the domestic violence was over with. That's why I said no longer bound. And I took a poem by my first book, in prison 20 years and not sentenced, leading to this story here. That means I did 20 years of domestic violence and it didn't sentence me, meaning it didn't kill me. It could have because I felt breath leaving my body when it used to choke me out. Beating in my face, black eyes, disfigured face, mess with me mentally, emotionally. Every abuse I counsel every abuse, neglect. And I didn't feel good about myself at all. It's like he took everything that a woman's supposed to be, he took everything from
Yes.
me. And even in the midst of that, I just still ask God to keep me and lead me and I stayed in the church for one, stayed around the saints. Because without that, I'm telling you, there's no way you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
Because if you weak, how you gonna be hanging with somebody that's weak? You got to be around strong people. And I've always found that through the saints. Even when I lived in Georgia.
Okay. I noticed in your book that you have so many references to being around positive people, for example. And I do want people to get this book because it's very inspirational. On page 19, I had to still go to church and get the word of God in my soul. I had to surround myself with positive people, people who love me for real with that godly love and had my best interest at heart, people that prayed and kept me under their spiritual wing. That resonated with me.
Because it's like somebody said, somebody prayed for me and had you on my mind too, time to pray for me. Because you can't, when you're going through, you can't pray for yourself. And that's why my children, they still healing because of that. And I'm not going to give up. I can't give up because guess what? My mom didn't give up on me. Even going through me not having my dad in my life, I took my mom through a lot of changes. I cut school, ran away. I did everything. Stayed in juvenile court. When I tell you I was seeking that attention, I took my mama through and she didn't give up on me. She prayed for me. My grandma was praying, everybody was praying for me. And I didn't see myself to this point to this day. And I'm just grateful.
I am too. I really am. Because when you're going through it, you don't know you're going through
You don't know it.
You don't even know it. Are really blind to what is happening in your world until what they say hindsight is 2020 vision. Because when you look back, that's when you know that's what we're going through. So who did you have in mind when you were writing this book? I mean, I know you were writing it from your own experience, but at any time were you, seeking to reach a specific audience of people?
Both men and women, because my husband now, he went through domestic violence. And men and women have bought my books because I done ran across a lot of men that said that they've been abused and still going through it. So I just want to let people know that if God brought me out of it, He can bring you out of it, and you don't have to stay in that 20 years.
Yeah.
And I tell people now, pray and move on, because you don't know if you don't get a chance to come out of it. It's so many women has died by that man, and it could have been me several times. And I could have, God forbid, I could have been locked up for doing something to him. I wanted to. I contemplated about it. But when I looked at my children,
Okay.
when I looked at my children, they really the ones that gave me the strength to keep fighting. Even now, to keep fighting.
Yeah.
Because they would have, even though they say self-defense, but I didn't want to even go down that road.
Because you knew you might lose them. Yeah.
And they the only one because see, I got raped at the age of 16. They told me, and I was on my cycle at the time. They said I could never have children, never get pregnant. I had several miscarriages, but I got 3 living children: 29, 23, and 22.
Wow. Whose report are you going to believe?
So they
right?
said, and my mom, they said I could never ever have.
Wow.
So it's like they was mine. Like even when I had my first child, my daughter, my mom said, "Yeah, you didn't." Even my sister, man, you didn't want nobody to hold her because it's like I knew she loved me, I loved her, and we went through a lot together.
Yes, yes, it is touching. It is extremely emotion. It's an emotional experience, and I tell you, you will feel it if you get this book and you read it. You feel it because if you have any empathy in you at all, you know, you really feel the stress of the challenges that you face. And I'm so grateful that you have come this far and produced something. This is another little baby that you have, you know, because you birthed a whole testimony out of what you went through to help other people. And it's important that that message gets told, which is why we're doing this. I don't claim to have a whole lot of followers or anything, but the people that I do know and that I know will watch this, that's important for, you know, everybody to be reached at some point. Hmm.
And I just want people know that because I've always been a people person. I always got along with people. Even now, my ex-husband, I get along with him because at first I didn't want to have a conversation, but I had to, and that's another thing. I had to forgive him. So that's why I said no longer bound but set free. Even in my mind and my heart, I had to forgive him. Was it easy? No. But I kept telling Lord, I want to forgive him because we still have children. They grown now, but I still conversate with him about certain things.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I told even he know how I felt. He know I didn't even want to talk. I can go for months and months and months without talking. But like I said, I'm glad that I'm at and that's why I told my children to forgive y'all dad for yourself. So you can heal and move on with life.
And have
Because
some
it
healthy
yeah,
relationships because it does affect us growing up.
it do.
We don't even realize it because that's been our normal.
Yeah.
But then when we get to be adults, we realize, why can't I keep a relationship? Or why am I still going through all of these things? And why certain emotions keep festering and coming up, you know, triggers happening and we don't even know we're being triggered. So this is huge, like to be able to express yourself with the person who mistreated you so many years and to know the importance of being able to be that bigger person, to stand up and say, okay, you can't hurt me anymore. The hurt you caused has just made me strong. And I appreciate you wherever you are right now. Yeah, yeah. So wow, that's pretty incredible.
Because when I tell you, we went through a lot. We, we went through homelessness because of it. We just lost so much over the years. And, he was from Georgia. He's in Memphis now, but every 2 years he's back and forth. I'm in 2 years in Georgia trying to make it work. I'm back home in Memphis. Every 2 years, over the several years, we was packing up. And I just had to realize it. If you don't want it, I can't make nobody love me. But God bless me with someone to this day. It'll be 8 years on Christmas that we've been married.
Oh wow.
And I wasn't looking for love. I said, Lord, you get me out of this, it's over with.
So let me ask you, excuse me, if like going into another relationship, I'm not sure if I would have been myself, you know, going through that. You just don't know. You never know. But did you take the period of time that you weren't married or that you weren't together? What were you doing to heal?
Just working on me, getting to know me again, getting to know who Alicia is.
What does that look like?
We look good. And now I tell people, I know who I am and who I belong to. I
That's
am a
powerful.
woman of God. I am a child of God. Because first I feel like I was nothing. You give and give and give of yourself to your children, to this man that took you for granted so many years. It's like, Lord, I'm a loving and giving person, so I need you to. And I didn't realize I was asking God to bless me with somebody. I said, Lord, bless me because I got a lot of love to give. But over the years, I just felt just used, just like, man,
Yes.
I'm cooking for this man. I'm cleaning. I'm taking care of him, even in his sickness. Even in a lot of my surgeries and sickness, I've been a sickly person since the abuse. I stayed at the hospital, stayed having surgery. Come home, barely can walk. He wasn't there for me to put me in a time, but to get up and put himself on. I'm thinking I'm getting up out the bed for to eat. He gone. Ain't no food. So my church in Georgia had to step in and start bringing food for me. And it's like I just felt like, Lord, they didn't want me, this man didn't want me. I just felt useless. But now, at this point, if you don't want me or not, I still know who I am.
Yeah.
I know who I belong to.
Wow.
And it was nobody but God.
Yep.
You have to have God. Whatever you go through, you can't do it by yourself.
You cannot.
Because it's a spiritual thing.
He is our strength. I'm telling you, it's I was reading scripture where I can't remember if it was Matthew or who exactly said it, but it was Peter.
Okay.
He was saying that he gloried in his infirmity because he knew that God was his strength. Jesus came and taught him everything. And by this time, Jesus was already ascended and gone years. And this afterwards, he was still holding on to this power that was left for him, but he knew it wasn't him. He knew it wasn't him, but he knew he had a purpose for living, for still being in existence. So, yeah.
Like a lot of people don't believe in God, but I know it's a God.
Oh,
because I could have been lost my mind. Like uh, like I said, me growing up without my dad, my mom put me in this mental facility, and I hated her for that at the time. But as I got older, I thank her for that because that's why I first started writing my first book.
Okay.
I got poems from the beginning, like from when I was 16.
Oh, wow. So what, that you just had to be put into a place because why?
Dealing with, like I said, I used to run away, cook class, stayed in juvenile court, just trying to see. I was longing for my dad. I was really battling. I still miss him to this day. The picture I seen of him, I look just like him. People think I look like my mom.
And you met him one time?
One time, age 11 or 12, and I hadn't seen him.
Oh.
And I
Is
still
he
think,
still alive?
I don't know, but I feel like he is.
Okay.
I really do.
He might see this.
And I told God I would like to see my dad, and I don't feel like that he gone. I said just to let him know that I went through a lot of challenges because of you. Wasn't in my life, but I made it, and my mom didn't give up on me. Just to let him know I got children that they said I couldn't have. I got a grandson that's good.
Wow.
And I have 3 more other grandchildren through my husband, but I got one biological.
Yeah.
And so that really gives me joy because I'm like, I could have been gone and I never experienced that.
Yep. Exactly.
And
Exactly. I'm so grateful for you. Like I said, I'm grateful that we even having this conversation and that you are here and just, when I first saw you, I said, I need to know her. I did. And I don't say that I need to know people because I'm, an introvert, more so now than I've ever been because of things that I've been through. But I also observe, and you just have a light shining because you have the strength that God has given you, and you carry it well.
That's what my children always say, Mom, you so strong. I said, well, some days I don't want to.
Mhm.
Some
It's
days
God's strength.
yeah, and I'm
It
like, I
is.
don't want to be a mama today. I don't want to be. I just want you to leave me alone.
I resonate, and it's okay.
Yeah,
Just
I
say,
say, I'm human too, but they think I'm not God.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get tired. I get, Mom, you so. I don't want to be. This don't bother me today.
yeah. Just give me some time. Mhm. Well, before we close out, and I just want to know if there are anything like what are the key messages from this book that you really want readers to uh, grasp and apply to their own life.
I just want, as far as no longer bound but set free. Like I said, you don't have to be bound to stand in the midst of violent situation, whether it's physically, mentally, emotional. All of it just as bad as physical. Because your mental, like my first husband used to tell me, don't nobody want you for me. I had all your children. I had children that didn't make it, and I gained a lot of weight over the years, and it messed with me mentally. Don't nobody want you for me, and come to find out, you didn't want me. And so you don't have to stay in the place that you had. And I got a lot of scriptures and stuff in there.
You sure do.
Even start working on myself. Like my baby boy started me out doing 100 walking places. I could barely do that because I was severely asthmatic.
Oh wow.
I was on my asthma machine like 4 or 5 times every day.
Mm,
I had been on it about 2 years.
mm.
So now I can walk over 1,000 now.
Yes,
Just walking the place. I'm more active now.
this is
I
wonderful.
didn't have strength. I used to be severely diabetic. My blood sugar used to be 500 and 600.
Mm,
And so dealing with all this, because I used to just eat, eat, eat. I was a stress eater. Like I just ate, wasn't even hungry. But now I had to say, ooh, I ain't even eat today. I got more energy now than I ever had in
mm,
years.
mm.
Like I said, I'm in the 2X, and I hadn't board that since I had the board.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I feel more better about myself.
Mhm.
And they always say, Mom, you something else yourself.
Mm.
Because even before I left, I said, hi, look. Now I'm glad to have that joy. I'm glad to
Yep,
feel good about me.
yep. Me too.
I said, Lord, because I'm a lovable person, why shouldn't I feel good about myself?
Exactly.
And it starts within you.
It does. It's such an
Because you
inside.
have to
Gosh.
love yourself first. How you gonna love somebody else? And I said, Lord, I'm gonna have the love of God every day, much as I can. And I ask God to keep me in my right mind, keep me, no
Yes,
matter what I face.
yes,
And I always say, trust the process. And give me the strength to trust your process. Because
yes.
you know better than me. I don't know down the line.
Exactly.
But you
Exactly.
do. But I'm
Exactly.
trusting you at your word,
Yes.
what you said. You said you're gonna bring me out. There's a lot of things. He said he's gonna restore everything that's been taken. And 20 plus years had been taken. So he restoring it.
Mm.
In
Yes,
many
he
in
is.
many ways, he
Yes,
restoring
he is. Ooh, you just
it.
brought some stuff to my mind. Hallelujah.
He restoring, I tell you, he restoring.
Ooh.
And I said, Lord, I thank you for even
Yeah.
the trials and tests.
Yep.
Because like I tell people, you're gonna go through whether you with the Lord or not.
So
So
you
you
might
might
as
as
well
well
go through
go
with
with the
him.
Lord. And like I tell my children, we all have a calling in our life and
Yeah.
a gift.
Yep.
We all prophets, and you just got to line up because you don't want him to wheel you in. You could be on your back. I want to walk up in here. I don't want to be on my back.
Yeah.
And just ask him to give you strength to overcome whatever that's holding you down. Because he
Teach
will.
you.
Yeah.
Teach you and give you wisdom and understanding. He said he will give it if you ask.
And I promise he will. I'm a
Yeah.
living testimony. He will.
Yeah. Exactly.
It ain't gonna happen overnight. Got to seek his face.
Yes.
Get
Trust
in your
the
word.
process.
Trust the process.
Yes.
And get in your word too, because that will strengthen you. Because how you gonna fight without your word? That's your weapon.
Exactly.
If you need somebody, because I used to, every time I look around, I was like calling somebody to pray for me. I still will sometimes, but now I'm learning. Now I got a relationship with God.
Yep.
So I don't have to do it like I used to years ago.
That's
And I'm happy about that because every time she prayed, I had to trust God for myself.
Yeah, baby step.
I had to trust him for myself, but now I got a relationship with him.
Yeah. Now you can pray for somebody else.
And I do pray for a lot of people, more so ever than I ever had, because I used to be scared to walk on my calling.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I used to be scared to walk on my calling. But
Wow.
now I'm not.
Yes, yes. Well, I mean, like I said, this book is it has so many things in it that can help you, like some things that can help you relieve stress, and you know, those are some very important things. Like your first um 6 things. One is read the Bible, listen to positive and soothing music, and 3, write down your feelings or thoughts. 4, exercise. 5, walking. 6, talk to someone positive, mainly God, and a friend or a family member, somebody who you trust. That is so important. It's really important. You even have like a menu of how you can add healthy foods into your diet. You know, because some people just don't want it, but they don't know how that it's like medicine. It's not actually for everything. You want everything to feel good and taste good and smell good, but sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes that medicine we need is bitter going down.
It is.
But it's gonna help. You know what I'm saying? And when you get to that healthy place again, then you enjoy the fruits of some things that taste good. But then we don't want to get too comfortable there either. We want a nice balance in our life. So, like I said, I'm so grateful for your story and thank you for sharing it with us. And this is definitely for our digital diamonds. And thank you for sharing some tea because I have a YouTube channel that I'm waking up again called Tea with Tanya.
Okay.
And so you definitely shared a nice warm cup of tea with us today.
And over the years, even though I've been writing has always been a tool for me. I always kept diaries as a kid. I didn't know what God was doing. Even in elementary, I used to take my little testament, read my word at school. I didn't know. And so over the years, like God has blessed me since I had these books. I done been on 6 billboards. I done been on different shows and had my first award show last year through the magazine that I'm in called Bully. I didn't never know and see myself doing all these things, and it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be owning a lot of things. I'm be doing a lot of things. He said I will travel all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Telling my testimony, and I'm excited about it.
Well,
so I had to go through all these extra things so I could be able to tell somebody something. Because I can't tell them about something I ain't been through it.
That's true. That's so
So how
true.
people be trying to tell you this and that, but if you ain't never experienced that, I mean, I don't mean no harm. You can't tell.
Yes. How to get through that. Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you again, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this story once again. No longer bound but set free. Get your copy. Tell everybody where they can find your books, the website, and give them the information that they need. And I'm also going to have that in the details of this when it's posted.
I'm on Amazon.com.
Okay, Amazon.
And it's under Alicia Hall Jackson.
Okay. Amazon.com. Alicia Hall Jackson.
And my website is Alicia Hall Jackson, ENT.com.
So that's Alicia Hall Jackson
ENT.
at ENT
Just
or
ENT.
just ENT?
Just ENT.
Okay,
dot
so
com.
Alicia Hall Jackson ENT.com. So go get your copy today. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.